He's not incorrect.
I'm not being condescending at all. Not me, never that.
Jerry's been a good drafter.
You are.
Never that.
Okay, RC, you're up next. In all seriousness, do you feel like he made the right pick? And then Mina, piggyback, please.
You know, I do, and I think it has to do with your evaluation of the wide receivers. Ted McMillan was already taken. I do believe that if he was there at 12, this from Arizona, this would be a different conversation. But you took one of the players that was ranked extremely high at his position. And let's think about the decisions that Jerry made that have helped build this team. There was a year where he could have taken Johnny Manziel, and I believe he ended up taking Zach Martin, right? And everybody said, okay, well, Jerry finally made a pick where he just focused on the team and not the glitz and the glamour. And I believe that he did that here again. This is a very smart pick. This is someone who can step in right away, contribute to this team, be a player there 8 to 10 years.
They earn the benefit of the doubt when it comes to taking offensive linemen. I mean, think about the Tyler Smith pick, right? There were a lot of questions around that, a lot of criticism. He's become one of the best guards in the NFL. So Zach Martin retiring, them taking a replacement, I think it makes sense. It also makes sense when you look at the draft as a whole. The Cowboys still need a receiver. The Cowboys need a running back. Mm-hmm. They can get one. I like a lot of the second, third round receivers and backs a lot. I think there's a big drop-off, though, from guard. And I think that they were trying to look at this as a whole and saying, okay, what can we get a guard later? No. Can we get a receiver back? Yeah. So it does make sense.
Well, let me say this. I don't think it was necessary for Mina to bring up the need at wide receiver just now. Why can't we focus on the fact that they made the right pick in the first round? And I think that it was wrong for Ryan Clark to bring up how Micah Parsons was lamenting the pick. Let's focus on the positive. Why must we bring up the negative? I mean, Micah Parsons may not know better or whatever, but you didn't have to bring that up. You could have just said, way to go, Jerry Jones, and move forward. You did not have to bring up that negativity.
I said full positivity because in trying to be positive about Micah and all those other things, he's now critiqued Mina and I, who he invited onto his show. And if he's going to speak in full positivity, there is a way to say that Micah Parsons was right or to say other things without having to say that Mina and I were wrong in our assessment.
Yes, other people get criticized too.
And Molly.
I apologize. I was wrong. And Molly, let me say, I was wrong. And by the way, that outfit with the whole thing, you look marvelous. And so do you, Mina. I apologize.
Thank you.
My bad.
Can I say one thing? RC, you created
2 hours.
Monster. So when this show happens next week for 2 hours and I have positive Colin next to me, you need to be available.
I told y'all about this a week ago.
Ryan Clark.
Can we get an alter ego name?
Yeah.
Huh?
What?
It can't be Stephen A. Smith.
Name an alter ego name for nice Stephen A. Smith.
We got Southern
Who is this like Stefan A. Smith? What do we got here?
How about Esteban?
Why is he got to be? Why is nice Stephen A. got to be Latin?
Hey, those who hate on the Latin.
Man, show you what kind of women he like now.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
Okay, the last thing I'll remind you, Ryan Clark, you need to be in New York for the show. Cancel all your pivot interviews, whatever family plans you have, because this guy's going to be a monster.
And by the way,
Molly,
I have that. But the Pivot is a fabulous podcast.
I know.
And I can't wait to be a guest on there again, because clearly the level of therapy that I need, who would be a better therapist than him and the crew? I mean, come on. I can't lose. You know what
I'll tell you all this.
Were you
Here's
a psychology
what we'll do.
major?
Molly, I will make myself available if you do my show, because everybody on this panel has been on the Pivot already. There's only one person that keeps telling me no.
Ryan, can I tell you one thing? And I mean this from the bottom of my heart.
President Obama did it.
I get it. Huge stars have done it. Mina Kimes, Stephen A., The Rock, all these people.
I let him in my house.
Ryan, I'm shy. Like, when are you going to realize this?
Such a lie. You're just private. You're not shy. There's a difference.
Goodbye. Let's go to break.
But wait a minute. I apologize.
All right, so Swaggo, Meek, and Orlovsky here for them. Graz, number one. You know what? The Cowboys blew it by not taking a receiver at 12. Is that an overreaction?
Absolutely, it's an overreaction. There's still receivers left on the board. How many went? Three 3 went in the first round. There's still plenty of receivers left on the board. The guy they got is an offensive lineman that they need to replace Zach Martin. I think the Cowboys are pretty good at this process, and I think they know that there's still options for them at wide receiver, either in the draft or potentially in trade.
Marcus?
I agree with Dan. I think it was a really good pick. It took me a second because I thought if Tech McMillan would have got to 12, that might have been the move. But I love this. And then when we were sitting there watching the draft last night, I thought about Jalen Carter is going to play Dallas twice a year. You need all the damn help you can get on the interior.
Orlovsky, what do you weigh in?
Now, I agree. I would have wanted Ted McMillan for the Cowboys if he was there. I was never super high on Golden there just because he is very similar to CeeDee Lamb in my opinion. So I don't mind the Booker pick. I think the Cowboys will have one of the better offensive lines in the NFL in a couple years. Also, I would love for them tonight to get Luther Burden out of Missouri. If they can do that, or Higgins out of Iowa State, if they can do that with Booker, that's a good first 2 rounds for the Dallas Cowboys.
And there's a lot of depth at running back. You can address a receiver and a running back second, third, fourth round of this draft. All right, topic number 2. I love this one. Travis Hunter can win both offensive and defensive rookie of the year. Is that an overreaction?
No, I'm all in. I want to see it happen. This guy, you watch this guy last night, everything he was doing just screamed, yeah, my league now, people. Look out. You made a mistake passing on me at 1. The Jaguars paid so much for this pick. Way too much for a single player. He's going to be more than one player for them, and they've basically come out and said that. Is he going to be 2 players, 1.5? Either way, I think it's going to be special watching what this guy does in the league.
Yeah, I'm sorry to rain on your parade.
Come on!
I think he's going to be a great player. But winning Rookie of the Year at both,
come on,
that is really tough.
You'd love to see it.
And this, I guess you could argue that this year's draft is not as deep as previous years, but you don't think that Abdul Carter is going to get 10 sacks, or one of the many edges that were out there going to get a bunch of sacks? It's going to be really hard.
Look at that suit, and how am I going to doubt this guy?
True, and he can move. Dan?
I love the pick by Jacksonville. I don't think they actually gave up that much. Everyone knows how ridiculously high I am on Travis Hunter. I think 2 things that are kind of sneaky in this conversation. I don't think he's going to win both, but one, you now matter, Jacksonville. Like, everyone wants to watch you on national TV because of this kid. And quietly, all the attention now goes to Travis Hunter and off Trevor Lawrence. And I think that's a very big deal in Jacksonville.
Bingo. Spears?
I have nothing. They said everything. We can
okay,
move
good.
on.
Wow.
I love that.
Wow.
I thought he was going to agree with me. I thought he was like, yeah,
he was just sitting there.
Smart.
He was just
great call.
Yeah.
All right, so the final overreaction. The
Bros,
Giants.
you know damn well that man ain't winning offensive and defensive. You know. Go ahead.
So he just wasn't taking the bait.
Well, if he does.
That's all that was. All right, last one. The Giants were right to take Jackson Dart instead of Shedeur Sanders. Is that an overreaction?
No, I don't think so. The quarterback evaluation is subjective. The Giants got to a point with Jackson Dart where he was the guy that they wanted, and it has to be right at quarterback for whatever reason, whatever they liked more about him than Shedeur Sanders. This was the pick for them. I don't think it's. Yeah, I don't think it's an overreaction to say it was the right pick. Again, it's flavors of ice cream, right? Like, it's what do you prefer at quarterback? And Brian Daboll has to be comfortable with this pick and what he's going to turn it into, because everything rides on that.
What went into them trading up to get him?
Well, they were worried about Cleveland. So once Cleveland had 2 high second-round picks, that's the team the Giants had their eye on in terms of we need to make sure we stay ahead of them in order to get this guy because he became their top choice at quarterback. So that was the thing. They're picking 34. Cleveland was 36 or 33 and now 36. So they felt like if
Mắc tiếp vào. Rồi móc thêm những mũi nữa này. Mình sẽ móc hàng này theo tỷ lệ là 3-1 nhé. Cái 3 mũi lẻ thì mình móc 1 mũi đôi nhé. Đây, mũi nữa này. Đấy, móc tiếp những mũi tiếp theo. Lần lượt như vậy là được. Tiếp nha mọi người. Mũi nữa này. Mình sẽ móc vòng quanh nhé. Móc tiếp vào mũi tiếp theo vào. Đấy, cứ lần lượt từng mũi từng mũi. Móc tiếp vào nha mọi người. Đây, móc nối vòng quanh. Tiếp tục móc xuống. Cứ lần lượt cho đến hết nhé. Đấy, mình móc vào như thế này. Tiếp nha. Mũi tiếp theo này. Mũi tiếp theo. Móc tiếp lại đây.